Tuning your guitar is essential as a beginner. You should tune your guitar every time you play with no exceptions. The reason is the guitar's tuning does change, and it can change minutely or it can change drastically depending on the instrument and also depending on if the guitar is kept in an environment where the temperatures are changing all the time. So tune your guitar all the time, at least for your first 3 to 6 months of learning guitar. And I'll tell you the reason why. At the moment, your ears, the way you listen, can't tell the difference between in-tune guitar strings and out-of-tune guitar strings. Over time, they will be able to tell, but not in the beginning. So that's why you tune your guitar every time you practice. So to tune your guitar, you're going to need 2 simple things. You're going to need to learn what's known as the notes of the guitar strings. There's 6 strings and each one has a note. The reason why we learn the notes is because it's going to save you a lot of heartache of snapping strings and tuning the strings to the wrong tuning, which you'll learn what that means in just a second. So you've got to learn the notes. And the second thing is you're going to need a guitar tuning app or dedicated electronic guitar tuner, which we'll also go through. So starting with the notes. The guitar has 6 strings. Each string has a note, or a letter is another way of thinking of it, a letter in an alphabet. So the guitar in standard tuning is tuned to E, A, D, G, B, E. So from the thickest string, this thickest string we're going to call Eddie, E at the beginning. The next string is called 8, A. The next string is called Dynamite, D. So that's Eddie, 8, Dynamite, E, A, D. The next string is Good, G. The next string is By, B. And the final bottom string is Eddie again, E. So Eddie, A, Dynamite, Good, By, Eddie. Learn those open string names, E, A, D, G, B, E. It's written below. There should be no excuses for you to committing that to memory. It's a very short thing, and that little silly phrase will help you remember it as we go on. So once you've learned those note names, you're then equipped to actually start tuning the guitar with an electronic tuner. If you just went straight away and got your electronic tuner, it's very easy that you could snap the strings or tune to the wrong notes. So in terms of tuners to get, I recommend Boss Tuner for iOS, and for Android, I still need to do a little bit of research, but I'll include that below my recommendation. They're both free, and I'll be using the Boss one today. So now let's have a look at actually physically how to tune the guitar and how to use the tuning app. Okay, so once you've got a guitar tuning app or a dedicated electronic guitar tuner, then the next thing you need to do is start to learn how to use it. So on screen now, I've put a image of my guitar tuner that I use, and I'm just going to take you through how they work. They have a microphone in them, which uses your device's, they use your device's microphone to pick up the sounds that are happening in the room. So if you play a string, it will hear that sound, and it will then tell you what you need to do to that string to get it in tune. As I'm talking, you can see that it's moving around all over the place because it's hearing lots of different notes. And this is the reason why learning the notes on the guitar is really, really important. Because if, let's say, you picked your thickest string, and your thickest string was actually, let's muck it up deliberately, your string was there, you'd be thinking, okay, all I need to do, and I'll show you how to do this in a second, but all I need to do is tighten my string to get that with the green light. Okay, I'm in tune. But you're in tune to D, not in tune to E. So the guitar tuner is stupid. It's up to you to know the notes. So you're actually tuning that one to E, as you've realized. So actually tuning the strings, let's physically get down to it now. So each string links up to a sort of peg at the end of the instrument. Okay, you then have these things which are called tuning pegs. Now, a very common thing if you're a beginner is to start using the wrong pegs when you're tuning, so please keep an eye on that. So for the thickest string, it's going to be this peg here. And what you're going to do is you're going to strike the string with your plectrum. So just pick it, and you're going to start to, I'm going to explain what these do. So turning these anti-clockwise will make your string tighter. If it gets tighter, then the notes in the alphabet will go higher. So it's gone from D to E, you saw just then. If you turn it the other way, the string will get looser. Consequently, you can hear the sound getting higher, getting lower. Okay, now I don't recommend you do that, but I'm just showing that for the purposes. So this first string is Eddie, E. So we're going to pick it. And if it's saying D on the tuner, we know it needs to be tighter to get it closer to E. And with this particular tuner, if it says E but there's a dot after it, that means it's E sharp. What we want is just an E. So start tightening, turning anti-clockwise until it gets to E and you get a green line. Now a lot of these electronic devices will flitter about. They'll be like, oh, I'm not quite in. That's good enough, to be honest, what I've got there. You can see it's just slightly over, but that's in tune. Okay, so that's your E string done. Next, we move tuning pegs. These things are called the pegs, and we strike our A string. It says A. It's just a little bit out of tune, so we're just going to slightly tighten it, just a little bit. Going anti-clockwise. So we're looking for this red dotted line here to be in the middle at green. If the line was over here at this point, we would be saying, okay, it's too tight. I need to turn clockwise to loosen it so it's back to here. So that's that string. Next is the D string. So that's this tuning peg here. You can always follow the string along. It's pretty much in tune. Okay, so next let's go to the G string. Now the G string is this tuning peg. So it doesn't start again here, it's this tuning peg. So please keep an eye on the strings and the tuning pegs, because what you'll find yourself doing is picking it and thinking, oh, that's not changing, and you're turning like crazy, but actually you're turning the wrong tuning peg. So be careful with that, okay? So this one says F. That should be a G. So if it's an F in the alphabet, we need to get higher to go to G. So that means going up the alphabet, getting tighter, changing the tension of the string until it says G. There we go. B string. Does it say B? Yes, it does. Is it in tune? Yeah. Finally, Eddie, E string. Does it say E? Yes, it does. Okay. Little bit of tightening maybe, just a tiny bit of fine tuning. Linking up the right tuning pegs. Tune your guitar every time you play, and you will get used to how much to turn these the more you do it. But as I said, make sure you know the note names, make sure that you are tightening the right tuning pegs. And one final thing, you do not need to keep picking the note the whole time. You can pick it once, the device will hear it, and you can then turn. It just saves effort of all continuous picking.